Hey yo, this your boy Worth, and this is straight to the point. Let's get right into it. I'm kind of sick of women constantly saying they want a good man, man that cooks, cleans, yada yada yada, and then they finally get one, and they want him to be on the low end of the spectrum. They're so used to the dudes that have set the bar so low that when they come into contact with one who has higher standards, they get upset. And they try to throw this feed in like, well, you're trying to belittle me. You're trying to, no, 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 baby. If I'm up here and you're down here, then my programming says I need to bring you up here with me. So I have to get your mind on a whole nother level. I have to get you to think another way. But see, they don't want to think another way. Most of them, anyway. They don't want to think another way because they're so used to the low standards and being right where they are that raising up is too much work. Making some changes is too much work. You want us to change for you. You want us to make concessions for you, but you're not willing to make those concessions for me as your man who's trying to get you to come up. You want me to change for your happiness. I want you to change for our growth. Come on, man. Come on, man. Something gotta give. Something gotta give. You can't want a good man, get one, and then want him to be that doofus you just got rid of. You should have stayed with that doofus then. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to nobody. I'm just saying. I'm making a point. If you say, I want a God-fearing man, God brings you a God-fearing man. God brings you a man who doesn't want to go by his emotions. God brings you a man who says, I'm not going to be led by emotions. I'm going to be led by the Spirit. I'm going to let the Word of God guide me to making the best decisions for the family. If we get in an argument, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to go into my secret place. I'm going to pray about it, and I'm going to come out and I'm going to come to you with an answer not from myself, but from on high. If that's the type of man God has given you because you have asked and prayed for a godly man, why is the first thing you say to him is, stop Bible bashing me? Well, if the man went and got the answer to this messed up situation from God, why are you upset about it? You asked for a godly man, didn't you? Or did you really want a godly man? Or did you want a man that pretended to be godly but still was in the world? I mean, you can't have it both ways. But see, then the problem becomes you begin to tear down that man. Whether he be a godly man or not, you got a good man, you begin to tear down that man. You begin to berate him. You begin to belittle him. You begin to strip him of his respect. When he says something in the house and he puts his foot down, you chop his foot off because mom is mom. Especially when the kids in the household aren't his kids. That becomes a whole nother kettle of grief right there. You know what I'm saying? If the kids are his, he can fight that tooth and nail. But even then it becomes a psychological disadvantage to him because kids in a household are gonna always side with mom. That's just the way it is. Biological or non-biological, you're gonna side with mom. As the man of the house, you seem to have to pick your battles. So when your woman is chopping your legs out from under you, it begins to make you cold. It begins to make you heartless. You pray about it. You try to get your mind right. You go do your little thing to try to keep everything in perspective. But when you come home and you feel like an alien in your own home, that becomes a problem. That becomes a problem. When you walk in your front door and you don't want to be there, that becomes a problem. And a lot of these men run away from a situation. They run away from, literally run away from home, or they're kicked out of their home. And they try to keep the child situation going. Whatever it may be, they try to keep that intact. But a lot of these women continue to, because of that attachment, they use that to further poke and poke and poke and poke and poke and poke. And then they get upset when the man decides, you know what, I'm not doing anything. He don't want to deal with the child because he don't want to deal with you. That's a messed up situation. It's not cool. Trust me, it's not cool. It's a messed up situation, but I can tell you from that man's point of view, in his head, he's saying, it's best for me to just push everything away right now to keep my sanity and my freedom, because I feel like I'm about to do something that I shouldn't do. I'm trying to keep it all in perspective. That's what's coming out of that man's head. But you can't see that because you're too busy poking the bear. You're too busy poking the bear. And he's trying to do right by every standard. He's giving you all the tools you need. He's telling you what he needs in order to do what it is you're asking him to do as far as the child goes, but yet you continue to slap him in the face. And then you wonder why men turn their backs and be like, I'm done. I'm done. Women, if you have a man that's doing what he's supposed to be doing, lift him up. Lift him up. Lift him up. Stop tearing him down. When he puts his foot down in the house, I don't care if they his kids or not. If he's the man of that house, let him be the man of the house. Back him up. Don't back your kids. Don't back your kids up. I'm not saying he might not be right all the time, but in the context of everything, talk to him behind the scenes. Let him know what you didn't agree with behind closed doors, you and him. Don't chop that man's legs off right in front of the kids so they feel like, oh, I ain't got to respect him. My mama don't even respect him. What I need to respect you for? That does a lot up here to a man. But then y'all want us to love you unconditionally. Y'all want us to continue to do all the things we did for you when we were dating. But yet, we need some things too. We need to feel like we're loved too. We need to feel, matter of fact, we just need to respect. We need to respect. When we walk in our house, that's one thing a man definitely demands, is his respect. If I'm going to get up and go put in 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, the least y'all can do is have the house clean. That's the least. The least. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all need to, a lot of y'all women need to come up with a different mentality of how you do things, the way you go about things. I'm not saying us men are always right, and we'll talk about that on the next one, but you really need to change how you treat a good man. There are plenty of messed up dudes out there without you tainting and destroying a good man and making him go rogue. Think about that one. I'm gonna holla at y'all.